I want to start with some football geeking on the Carolina Panthers. What did you think about Ron Rivera's decision to go for the 2-point conversion and Cam Newton's inaccurate throw on that play?
Well, you know me. I'm not going to give this a normal answer. It's funny. My wife and I were driving in the car on Saturday, coming back from my daughter's volleyball tournament in Fort Worth, and Ohio State, Maryland had the thing pop up where Maryland did the same thing, went for the win in overtime
Right.
instead of kicking an extra point.
Exactly.
Quarterback, 2 weeks ago, Oklahoma State tried it, missed it. And my wife asked me, "What's your take on this?" And I said, I wish I could give you just a blanket statement like, yeah, you always go for it, or you don't go for it. Or, if you want to take this conversation to going for more fourth downs. Like, I appreciate and understand this more ultra-aggressive way of looking at football that a lot of these coaches are doing these days. My problem with it is when it becomes formulaic. And I think that's what happened to Coach Rivera is he said it after. It's like, okay, when we're on the road and we're in that situation, we're going to go for 2 to win. That makes a lot of sense on paper. But that's not a formulaic decision because you haven't taken into account momentum. You haven't taken into account other circumstances. Every 2-point conversion is different. Every fourth down is different. They're not all the same. You can't put them in a box. And where I think these coaches make a mistake, specifically Coach Rivera yesterday, is you lose sight that you have momentum on your side. You just went down and scored and came from behind and did something really special to be in that situation. If you kick the extra point, momentum's still on your side, and the odds are you'll win the long race. And that's what I don't think these coaches think enough about is the circumstance around their decision. They make that decision on a Thursday instead of in moment on Sunday. And that's the problem I'm having with this new generation of ultra-aggressive coaching. It looks great. It sounds great. All the data geeks around the country love it because it makes sense on paper, but yet in the moment, it's not having as much success because they're not taking all the other factors into account.
Fantastic answer. Trent Dilfer joining us here on the show. He joins us courtesy of Panini America, the exclusive trading card partner of the NFL and the NFLPA. The Eagles got waxed yesterday. Do you feel like Carson Wentz has been part of the problem, or is it everything else surrounding the Eagles?
Well, they've all been part of the problem. I mean, you don't play this bad after winning a Super Bowl without having everybody a little culpable. I think it started. You want the 30,000-foot answer is they celebrated too long. They didn't press the reset button fast enough. I didn't get the chance to repeat in Baltimore, but I've talked to a lot of buddies that either had a chance to repeat and didn't do it well, kind of like the Eagles, or had a chance to repeat or make a run and really made a solid run. And every answer has been consistent. The guys that didn't have success, they poured perfume on themselves and celebrated for too long. They didn't recreate the edge it takes to make a run in the NFL. The guys that did do it well, the teams that did do it well, their coaches, their management, their team leaders were wise enough that when even before they got back in the building in March, in February, it was already about the next season. We're done talking about the Super Bowl. We're done talking about what we accomplished. It's all about having to earn it again. And it's a mindset. It's an edge that has to be created, whether it's, freshman basketball or whether it's the NFL or whether it's World Cup soccer. To be really good the next year, you have to understand it had nothing to do with the year before. And if I saw the Eagles this summer, I was with a bunch of them. They were still partying up. They were still talking about it. They were still living the glory of the Super Bowl and didn't press the reset button fast enough. So I think that's the biggest issue. And then there's some practical things. Losing Frank Reich's a big deal. I think it's a huge deal, not a little deal. It's a huge deal. He's one of the great coaches in the NFL, and they lose him late, and they have to adjust to that, and they haven't done a great job of that. They lose DeFilippo. The other offensive coach is a really good coach. And they've had injuries. They have been banged up, and that's a real thing, and I think that contributes to it. So it's kind of a perfect crap storm they faced, but part of it they brought on themselves by not pressing the reset button fast enough.
Yeah, I think even Alexander Ovechkin was looking at the Eagles saying, hey, guys, slow down. Slow down. You don't have to celebrate that long.
Good call.
Trent Dilfer joining us this morning here on the show. How would you grade out Lamar Jackson's first game as a starting quarterback?
The note I put down was frenetic but fun, baby. I mean, it was. I had anxiety watching it. I really did. I mean, one, he's wearing the number I wore in the Super Bowl, so I'm already a fan. I love the kid. I just think he is a fantastic football player. Watched almost every game he played in college. But gosh, it's frenetic. It looks nothing like NFL football.
Yeah.
There's no rhythm. There's no timing. There's no precision. It's just chaos. And it's chaos in a good way. I think it fits their formula. I mean, they want to run the ball. They want to, chew up the clock. They want to put their defense in a great situation. They do that with him. He did throw the ball pretty well at times. Now, is any of this sustainable? No. You cannot play that style of football in the NFL long term. You can play it for short stints. So I want everybody to push the brakes on Lamar Jackson is the answer. Like, he's not the answer yet. He may be at some point, but he's not the answer yet. He's the perfect backup quarterback in today's football. Perfect. To have that type of skill set and to be able to throw out a totally unique offense when your starting quarterback's banged up creates a ton of pressure on the defense. You don't know what you're going to get. You're kind of guessing on defense. It fits your offensive model of holding the ball, high number of carries, a lot of different ways of attacking in the run game, putting your defense in a good situation. So there's a lot of good to it, but it is not sustainable. One, your quarterback's going to get killed. Like, you just can't run the ball that much in the NFL. Even if you're sliding, eventually you're going to get hurt. There's no continuity, no timing, no fluidity in the passing game. You're going to struggle in critical downs. So they got to grow this thing out if he's going to be the quarterback. But like I said, it was fun to watch.
Trent Dilfer, our guest this morning here on the show. Looks like the Cowboys turned a bit of a corner here. If you were to develop an offense to take advantage of Dak Prescott's skill set right now, what would you rely on?
Well, watching the Bears last night, I think Mitch Trubisky and Dak Prescott are basically the same player. They are fantastic athletes. They're awesome competitors. They're tough guys. They're everything you want as a young quarterback, but they're still very remedial as passers. They're still a pick-and-stick passer, meaning you pick a guy, you stick with him, and you throw the ball. You're really good to your primary guy, and then once he's not open, you either trust your athleticism or you might go to two, and if you go to two, you're not going to be quite as accurate. That sounds like a criticism. It's really not for this stage of their development. It's on the coaches to recognize that and build an offense around that. And to answer your question, I'll go back to what I learned from Norv Turner when he coached Alex Smith his second year, was every time Norv called a play and every time he had a motion or a formation or a shift or something, it was quarterback-centric. It was, okay, we have to make sure that we do our best possible job of giving number one a chance to be open, having number two be something simple, and then trusting that three is going to be the quarterback's athleticism. He's not going to take a negative play, and he's going to let us live to play the next play. And what that looks like is what the Bears are doing. The Cowboys are starting to do it, but really what the Bears are doing, where you use a lot of bells and whistles, a lot of window dressing to help help the guy you're trying to throw the ball get open. And if he's not open, there's going to be something else that's kind of right in front of you. But if that doesn't work, you're going to see the field spread boundary to boundary. The defense is going to be spread boundary to boundary, so that quarterback has a chance to have more room to wiggle and get some yards with his feet. And that's what I love that Nagy's doing with the Bears. He knows who his quarterback is. They're doing a great job with it, and I want to see Linehan do a little more of it. We've seen a little bit more the last couple weeks, but there's got to be a little bit more.
Trent Dilfer joins us courtesy of Panini America, the exclusive trading card company of the NFL and NFLPA. And you do a really cool video series called Dilfer's Dimes. And you can watch that actually on Panini's Instagram account as well, which are really cool. And you've kind of broken down some Trubisky stuff and some Deshaun Watson stuff over the course of the season. Coming out of this week, what's your latest Dilfer's Dimes video going to look at?
Well, when we hang up, I got about half an hour and I'll be filming it. I'm leaning towards DJ Moore, the receiver for the Carolina Panthers. I think this kid could be special, really, really special. unique skill set. He's a thick-bodied, twitchy guy. You don't find that a lot. You find a lot of thick-bodied power guys. You don't find a lot of thick-bodied, twitchy guys. What I mean by twitchy, he's got speed and quickness. That kind of beep where you blink your eyes and he's going a different direction. But he's also thick. He's got power. He can run after catch. He has great ball skills. He can make the contested catch. He's becoming a good route runner. He can get by you. He's physical as a blocker, which is underrated for receivers in this league. I see superstar in the making in DJ Moore. And with all these videos, I try to find something a little bit different, a little bit outside the box to do my analysis on, and that's where I'm leaning this week.
Yeah, check it out. They're really cool. Trent Dilfer's Dimes. Check them out online, as Panini America is the exclusive trading card partner of the NFL and the NFLPA. Trent, it's always cool to catch up, man. I appreciate the intel, the information, and the energy. We'll talk again, bud.